Hey beautiful soul, welcome to my channel. My name is Nicole P. I'm a spiritual barista, serving up wisdom, guidance, and inspiration from the cards. And in this video, what I'm going to share with you is the energy that we're dancing with for this Libra season. I'm going to share with you the two major arcanas and some of the energies and invitations that they're offering us. And not in a way of a predictive sort of tarot way, but as guides for us to really go down deep in this spiritual self-awareness journey. And, you know, it has officially begun. The portal to the underworld season is opened, and you can start to feel, right? Can you feel the difference of the air and the energy? And you can almost feel the rumblings, right, of the underworld that's coming up through the earth, and we can sort of feel much more of spirit. I think we're always feeling spirit, right? Don't you agree with me? Like, you could always feel spirit, but there's something a little bit more raw that begins to shift and change once we hit the autumn equinox. And so Libra season is here, and it's this season that reminds me of like songstress energy. It's a season that's so connected to relationships and so connected to truth. Now, with Libra season, the opposite side or the polarity is Aries, right? So much of this Libra season is alchemizing the I am into the we are, and being open to see and feel into how we connect and are in communion with others. And this Libra season marks actually the halfway point from the zodiacal year. So we're halfway through the zodiacal year, right? We started with Aries, and we're going to be dancing a lot with that Aries energy with this full moon coming up. And so we'll be able to really tap into where we were when the year started and to where we are right now. Now, the major arcanas are, number one, the embodiment of Libra is in the goddess of justice. So the goddess of justice, when we see this card, right, at face value, right, you know, we think of good karma or things working out in our way, justice being served. And of course, that can definitely have that meaning. That meaning does exist, and that is true. Now, when we look at the justice card with the lens of really delving deep into who we are and who we are becoming, it's a card that invites us to tap into the truths of our soul. This card asks us, are we living in alignment with the center of who we are, the center of our truth? Are we aware of our actions, our words as spells, as medicine, not only for our lives, but in the lives of others? It's a card that asks us to really check ourselves, check our actions, our words, and are we being like good humans, right? Are we really being good humans? This card also really asks us about our relationships. Like, are we speaking our truths in our relationships? Are we standing for the truth of who we are? Are we standing for the truth of who we belong to? Like, really standing firmly and being of love and support to our communities? So those are some of the questions of like, how am I living in truth of not only who I'm becoming, who I am, who I have been, but all of that in relationship to others, to personal relationships, to community, to work relationships, to the larger global community. And it's an introspection, and sometimes we don't know the answer right away, and that's what the goddess of justice is saying. You don't need to know right away. But when you start to ask the questions and you sit with the truth and you sit in silence or you move in silence, the answers begin to come to the surface. So yes, a card definitely of justice, karmic justice. And it's also a card of responsibility where we say, okay, I do have free will. And I will speak my truth. I will stand in the power of my truth. And how does me standing in the power of my truth and speaking my truth have an impact on those around me as well? So some really, really deep things to tap into with the goddess of justice. Now, because we have those Venus vibes, we also are dancing with the energy of the Empress. right? So the Empress, that energy that is so much more like deep rooted into the earth. When we think of the Empress, we think of birthing, right? Whether that be like really giving birth to a child, giving birth to parts of ourselves, our creative process, this abundance of really pleasure and enjoying life. And with the Empress in connection to the goddess of justice, in the context, right, of being halfway through the zodiacal year, she offers us, I should say, an invitation to really tap into the energy of like, who have I become? Who was I during the Emperor energy, during the start, of the zodiacal calendar year, the zodiacal wheel? And who am I now? Who am I birthing? Who is brewing? And what is brewing in this sacred space of creation? So it's an energy to really reflect on what am I creating? What am I creating in the context of the goddess of justice? Who am I becoming? How am I opening up to pleasure? I think though I don't want to say I think though. I'm so tongue-tied and twisted. I'm not going to edit that out. I just feel like if I just sit and I stand here or whatever, I just envision the energy. I almost feel like the goddess of justice is almost like the ancestor rising. And I envision this energy coming up through the earth. And it's almost as if she is like goddess-like, right? She is a goddess. And it's this energy of hearing the ancestors' call. I think there's a really deep invitation for us to tune into the words from the underworld. What is coming up? And there is this realization by you standing in the power of your truth and who you are becoming. It's a healing, and this is just coming to me right now. There's a healing from generations past. And so much of this Libra season is invitations, yes, of how we are in community with others and really deepening our connections to our relationships with others. Taking the I am into we are. And there's a call to remember and to hear the voices of the ancestors, of your ancestors, who you are in communion with. And realizing as you move in the center of your truth, as you move in the center of your truth, that you heal the past. And so there's really in this season a deep healing that's occurring by you opening to the goddess of justice, the Empress, and healing not only the present, but also the past, and paving way for the future. So it's really a deep, deep season. And I feel that sometimes it gets a little, I don't know, I can't explain it, but I feel like there's really that deepness there. That deep, deep, deep. It's like earth, even though it's air energy, it's this earth coming up into air. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I wanted to share with you. And so I invite you to ask those questions, to tap into that. You could take these two cards out of your deck and, you know, during this season, start free flowing and journaling. Like, the goddess of justice, what do you have to teach me? What is it? What are the lessons? What are the messages? Right? And the Empress, what do you have to share? What are your lessons? What's the medicine for me in this season? So I hope this has served you in some way, shape, or form. Mad love for listening, tuning in. And yeah, that's all I got to say. I'm raising my cafecito to you. Happy Libra season. Bye.